Okay?
Yeah, sure.
All right, it's 3 o'clock. We're going to get started. Was the meeting posted?
Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is my sad duty to inform you of the passing of Commissioner Ed Finnegan. I'm going to ask you all if you'd be kind enough to rise. We have a moment of silence, and I've asked the secretary to read a memorial into the record.
Commissioner Finnegan was first appointed August 23rd, 2000, serving as a member of the License Commission with the thoughtfulness for the individual's right to receive due consideration from the licensing board. It is with profound sorrow that we, members of the Commission and the office, will not continue to have the fellowship of Commissioner Finnegan. Edward F. Finnegan died on February 10, 2007. We are thankful to the Father in heaven for the privilege of knowing Commissioner Finnegan, having his compassion and good humor to guide us these past 6.5 years.
And we say, may his soul and the souls of all rest in peace. Thank you. First on the agenda, please.
Commission will now take up the matter of applications for special one-day license for alcohol beverages, for malt beverages and wine only, or either one. Stanley Swan, is Stanley Swan here? Okay. Corey Belanger for Saturday, March 17, 2007, from 4 p.m. to 12 midnight. The event is the St. Patrick's Day block party to take place within an enclosed tent in front of 34 Jackson Street. Sean Cyrus for Sunday, April 22nd, 2007, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. The event is the Lowell Firefighters Road Race. The beer concession to be held within a fence-enclosed area at Willie and Cross Streets. Applications for all alcoholic beverages filed by Leo Silver of the Holy Ghost Society for events at Holy Ghost Park at 65 Village Street. A Brazilian dance Saturday, March 3rd, 2007, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. A Queen's Ball by the Holy Ghost Society Saturday, March 10th, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. The Bridal Shower for Saturday, March 17th, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. The Princess Dance for the Holy Trinity Society for Saturday, March 24th, 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. The Revista Dance for Holy Ghost Saturday, March 31st, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. Dance for Sao Jiao, St. John, I believe, for Saturday, April 14th, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. A wedding reception for Saturday, April 21st, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. A Miss Portugal pageant for Saturday, April 28th, from 5:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. A dance for the Holy Ghost Society Saturday, May 5th, from 6 p.m. to 1, and a wedding reception for Saturday, May 12th, from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Okay, you step to the mic and introduce yourself for the record, please. Is it on? Is that on? Okay, thank you, Corey. Next.
Sean Soroyce, Lowell Fire Road Race.
Okay.
Leo Silva, Director for Holy Ghost Park.
Okay. Stanley Swan. Stanley Swan's not here. Okay. Sean, have you been before us?
I have.
You have?
Past 2 years, yes.
Okay. Little concerned, Holy Ghost, you're going to 1:30 in the morning, you're cutting it close. You know, you got a half hour to disperse. We haven't had any problems. I'm not going to say you can't go to 1:30, but I think you're starting to push that edge, and you're getting a little too close. You're going to have a big crowd. You might not get them out of there in time. It's still a neighborhood. We have, as I said, haven't had any complaints. We don't want any complaints. So, you know, please, even if the event is over, make an announcement to everyone. Remind them that they're in a residential neighborhood and to please exit quietly, because at 1:30 in the morning, people are going to be sleeping, and it's going to be 2 probably before, you know, I know you're gonna close it down at 1:30, but people dilly-dally, and that's where you get in trouble, okay? So please, I don't want to see you in here. We've had a very good working relationship. You've done a good job. Gentlemen, I know that you're familiar, but just for the listening audience, you realize this is your license, not the fire department's. And Corey, you know you own a business, and I'm sure you've gotten a permission to block the street. Fire department, the city of Lowell, okay? You have neighbors in the neighborhood. You have folks that live around the area. You've got to be considerate of them, okay? The liquor license is in your name. Guess what? Look at all these attorneys sitting here. They're just waiting. We don't want to see you in here, okay? So make sure you keep control. Any questions, Commissioner?
No, I make a motion to approve.
Motion?
With the exception of Stanley Swan.
Yeah, okay. Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, gentlemen. Next on the agenda.
Commission will now take up the matter of applications for public amusement licenses for events at the Lowell Memorial Auditorium. Thomas McKay, Mill City Management, Inc., the licensee, applicant. Jessica Banks is the representative. For concert, the Irish Tennis, Thursday, March 8th, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. There being a show, the WWE, which is World Wrestling event, that's Saturday, March 10th, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. There are two scheduled starting times for the World Wrestling Entertainment. Both dates, both for Saturday, March 10th. The first is, as I said, 3 p.m. The second starts at 7:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. There's two concerts, the Vince Gill, the first being Friday, March 16th, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., and the second, it will be Wednesday, March 21st, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Also a concert, Beetlejuice, for Thursday, April 5th, from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. This will be sponsored by the Middlesex Community College. Also a show sponsored by the Middlesex Community College, the Celebrity Forum 2007, for Thursday, April 24th, from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. And finally, the Greater Lowell Young Professionals are promoting Dr. Bob Froelich for Thursday, May 10th, 2007, from 5:30 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Thank you. Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Jessica Banks with Lowell Auditorium.
You have any questions?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
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 Thank
You're
you.
all set. You're not wrestling, are you? Is Tom getting in the ring? McKay? Oh, yeah. Is he? Okay, I'll be down to watch that one.
Commission will now take up the application for a special events permit for amplified outdoor public entertainment. The first being Adriana Stefano for Cafe Paradiso for Sunday, February 25th, 2007, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. The event is the Oscar Night, utilizing the Sidewalk Cafe with a tent at 45 Palmer Street. Also, Corey Belanger for Saturday, March 17, 2007, from 4 p.m. to 12 midnight. The event is St. Patrick's Day. There being an enclosed tent in front of Major's Pub at 34 Jackson Street. There will be a live band from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. and a DJ from 8 p.m. to 12 midnight.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Adriana De Stefano with Cafe Paradiso.
Okay?
Corey Belanger, Major's Pub.
Okay. They haven't, set a standard. You've got to use your head on this thing. You got to realize that there are people living in the buildings around you. Till 10 o'clock, I don't think that's unreasonable. To midnight, you got to kind of tone it down at the last few hours, I would say. Okay? We haven't had any complaints of music or anything as of recent.
The Jackson Street venue?
Yep.
Is typically we allow cars to go up some way there, up to Jackson Street. If maybe we can just close off the road itself, right from Central Street. My concern is if a car goes up to the tents in the middle of the road, and
They usually put a Jersey barrier across.
Yeah, we usually put a vehicle.
you put a vehicle though.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm more concerned there's no problem if we close the road off at the beginning. It's just, do you see the problem, Cory?
See, what happens is they come off of Center Street, and we're allowed to use the parking lot across the street, which is very, very helpful. I mean, whatever you request, I'll
That's
do,
fine.
but...
Okay, maybe we can talk about that.
Okay, Corey, if
Yeah.
you could get together on that, okay? Just to, satisfy both sides. Motion to approve the permits.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Okay, you're all set, thank you. Okay. Okay. We had any problems with them? Have we had any problems with them?
I don't know, I have not heard of it.
Okay. Next on the agenda.
This is now a public hearing. A hearing on the application. The commission will now open the hearing on the application for transfer of the malt beverage and wine restaurant license from Than Than Restaurant, Inc., doing business as Than Than Restaurant, Toon Nigel, President, to Tiger Dang Corporation, doing business as Dalat Restaurant, Yoon Dang Nugent, President, for premises at 475 Chelmsford Street, there being 2 unnumbered doors on the south side of the building. The first floor, 1 room for restaurant, 2 rooms for kitchen and storage. It is requested that Yoon be approved as the manager of record for Tiger Dang Corporation, and Tiger Dang has filed application for the following following minor licenses: for common vittler and for entertainment for jukebox only.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Gregory Curtis, representing Tiger Dang Corporation. Say your name.
Yuan Dang Nguyen.
Okay. Tell us,
Mr. Chairman-
it's my understanding that they own another restaurant,
Correct, Mr. Chairman.
okay?
She
And what is the
currently
name
op-
of that one?
Food a Lot on Middlesex Street, 1575 Middlesex Street. And that
Okay.
is a restaurant that has an all-alcoholic beverage license for about the
Okay.
past 2.5 years, that she is listed as the manager.
Okay. Captain Demore, do we know these people?
No, we don't.
Okay, that's what we need to know. Those are the best words you can hear. No, we don't. You know, if he doesn't know you, that means you're doing something right, and obviously you're running a good business, and that says a lot for you for your next application. Okay? So tell us a little bit about this and what you plan on doing.
Well, this is a Vietnamese restaurant that they are taking over at 475 Chelmsford Street, and it's been operated as a restaurant for, I think, 6 or 7 years. Right now, there is the wine and malt license. They're going to continue to operate it basically that way as they do their restaurant at 1575 Middlesex Street. Wen Dang Nguyen, who's here with me, is basically going to be manager of record at both, and the restaurants close roughly about 9 o'clock on the weekdays, so we're not talking a late operation, about 10, maybe 10:30 on the weekend. Just beer and wine would be served along with the food. She does have experience for the last 2.5 years with an all-alcoholic beverage license at Middlesex Street location, and also involved with it would be her husband. She is the president, treasurer, and clerk of the corporation that was formed for this, and
Okay.
she would be running that.
Could you tell me who's going to be running the operation when, you can only be in one place at one time, right?
Yeah, she indicated that since the other establishment is open a little later, she's going to split her time, but most of the days at the new restaurant on Chelmsford Street, most of the afternoons and evenings still closing at the location on Middlesex Street.
Okay. And who does she have at the other place that,
Her husband works this,
Family.
they own it together, they're going to be running
Okay.
it together.
okay? Commissioner Gary.
You're just buying a business here, just no real estate involved?
No real estate. We have a 15-year lease
Okay.
with the option to extend it
Now,
possibly further.
where's this located, Council?
475 Chelmsford Street is just after what was I think it's a store 24 that was on the right side,
Uh-huh.
almost to Plain
okay.
Street. It
used to be a-
wasn't a Pizza Hut at one time?
Yeah,
Pizza Hut.
okay, yeah.
It was
all
a-
right.
it was-
Pizza Hut.
Oh,
right.
Pizza Hut.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, know where you are.
And the emphasis on this business is food?
Is food, yeah. The emphasis is food, not a late-night establishment. Most of the food menu
Is
items...
there an established bar there? Is there a bar you sit at there?
I don't know, is there a bar? A bar where they can sit, or is it just
No,
seating?
just small.
No, it's just seating,
Seating, okay.
just seating.
Okay.
We got there.
I think there's a floor plan attached to the
There is? We
application.
were looking for it.
Thought there
Do you have
was.
a copy of it?
Now we got it.
Oh, we got it, sorry.
Okay.
Last page. It's always in the last place you look. Okay, yeah, there was Pizza Hut. Yes.
Yeah, basically
Okay.
seating here.
I make a motion to approve. No. No, this is the one we don't have to open to the public, right? Okay, if you want.
Just to speak on it, but it's not required that
Yeah.
abutters be notified by.
Is there anyone here that would like to speak on this? This is not a requirement of the transfer of this, but, you know, just so, because they already have a beer and wine license there. This is a transfer of an existing license, but anybody like to, any comment on it one way or the other? No. Okay, that portion of the hearing's closed, and I make a motion to approve the transfer.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay,
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Good
you
luck.
realize you
Thank
gotta
Counsel.
send that to Boston to, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, the rest of these we have to open, so remind me. I'm sorry, I looked it twice, I looked to see if there was something, I didn't see it. No, you do, it's fine. There it is, okay. All right, we got some. Yeah. But this is a public hearing. Okay, Hung Trang. Next on the agenda.
Commission will now open a public hearing on the application for alteration of premises by Hong Tran Nguyen, doing business as Vo 88, a malt beverage and wine restaurant licensee for premises at 1270 Westford Street, there being two unnumbered doors at the rear leading to the rear hallway and outside exit. The first floor, one room for dining area, kitchen, storage room. It is requested that the existing restaurant include approximately 1,600 square feet for a second dining room, bar seating, and expanded kitchen area. There is to be a fourth means of egress.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
For the record, Mr. Chairman, James Flood, representing Hung Nguyen, who's with me today.
Wang Ting Nguyen.
Yep.
And what we're here for is to just expand the existing restaurant. The space next door became available. It used to be a bookstore and an office, and we want to expand into that area. We've been to the Board of Appeals. We've obtained all the approvals necessary as far as parking is concerned, and this will be an improvement for the business. It's been there for 7 years. I don't think there's been any problems. And
Whereabouts is this?
1270 Westford Street, which is just before the Chelmsford line. It's above where what was
there before?
where we're moving, there was a bookstore and an office. We're on the first floor. We're not going down
Okay, you're
where
not going
the...
down to Paradise?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
All right.
Not at all.
Okay. Captain Demora, do you know these people?
No, we don't.
Okay. All right, we're going to open it up to the public. I'm asking if anybody wants to speak in opposition. In opposition to the expansion. In opposition, that portion of the hearing's now closed. Anyone to speak in favor? In favor. In favor. That portion of the hearing's closed. The only concern that I have is you're putting in a seating bar now. People are going to come in, and you're expanding this to put down a bar where people are going to be able to sit at a bar. Okay? You know, once you get a bar, it seems like many times the food starts to become secondary and we become a bar. I'm trusting that's not the case.
It's not the case at all. This is a family restaurant, Mr. Chairman, and I think the intention to continue in that mode. When we were at the Board of Appeals, we did have a lot of people come and speak in favor of the operation that's there, very supportive. We had a petition that's signed by many people, and it is a family restaurant, and we intend to continue in that mode.
Okay. And your hours of operation?
From 11 to 10 every day.
11 to 10 every day?
Yes, sir.
Every day, okay.
Just like, I've been in there several times, it's a great operation, you know, and just, your emphasis is still gonna be on the food element of it, I assume.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
that's, like I said, I've been there a lot, it's a big expansion, I'm all for it. Are your prices gonna go up?
We'll work on that.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion, I'll second it. Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you
You
very
don't
much.
think he gets this figure by driving by many restaurants?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
This is just on the bottom floor, right?
There's the basement, it's that big? Okay. Yep. All the cards are back. Ryan, all the cards are back. The green cards are back. Yeah, okay.
Commission will now open a public hearing on the application for an all-alcoholic beverage restaurant license by the Under Impact Pub and Lounge, Inc., Waleska I. Parilla, the president, for premises at 160 Merrimack Street, Unit Number A, 2 unnumbered doors south side. This is a basement level, 1 room for restaurant lounge, a function room, a food preparation room, and a storage room. It is requested that Emily Kionis be approved as the manager of record for the Under Impact Pub and Lounge, Inc. The following minor license applications have been filed: for common vittler, for entertainment for live music, disc jockey and jukebox, and for automatic amusement device.
Okay, introduce yourself for the record, please.
I'm Attorney Stephen Panagiotakis. I represent the Under Impact Pub and Lounge.
Waleska Parilla, person.
This is Emily Quinones, who's the proposed manager, and Juanita Delbray, who's the secretary of the corporation.
Okay,
We here on the new application for 160 Merrimack Street, Unit A, which is the downstairs condominium. It was formerly the downstairs cafe.
Oh,
There has
okay.
been a liquor license there for many years. That business went out of business at the end of this year and did not renew their license. Ms. Perella is the owner of the condominium and has leased it to the corporation, which is now filing for a new liquor license.
okay. Did we do a query? No record. Everything okay? All right, let's open it up and I'm going to ask for anyone here to speak in opposition. Anyone to speak in opposition? In opposition? In opposition. That portion of the hearing's closed. Anyone to speak in favor? In favor? In favor. That portion of the hearing's closed. I'd like to know from the folks their experience in the liquor business, if I could, Counselor.
Yes.
They worked in this field before.
Ms. Quinones, who is the manager and will be the on-site manager,
Okay.
has worked in the liquor industry previous in Puerto Rico. She has 5 years' experience as a manager in an establishment in San Juan. She is currently working at Spheron Inc. in Billerica as a supervisor in shipping, but she'll be moving over to doing more hours with this new business.
Okay. Is she's for being a manager in Puerto Rico, and being a manager in Lowell,
Yes.
Massachusetts, is two entirely
Absolutely.
different things.
Right.
Have you familiarized yourself, you know, what, you work, where do you work?
I used to work for APL Logistic in Billerica. as a lead supervisor of shipping.
Okay.
She's no longer there.
No longer.
She'll be doing this
You're gonna be
full-time.
taking this full-time?
Yes.
That's gonna be
Have
my
you ever
full-time.
taken a tips course?
Pardon me?
You're taking
Have
the
you ever
tips
taken
course,
a
yes.
tips course?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Where?
Yeah. No, I'm gonna take the bartender class and the tips too.
Yeah, she'll be taking the tips course.
Okay. I think you should.
Yes.
Because, you know, all you gotta do, you know, we really appreciate, you know, people making an investment. Your investment is in downtown Lowell. Okay? And Lowell is a neighborhood community in itself. Just as this condominium is owned by that young lady, okay? There are people that own condominiums in the downtown area that live there, and they have a right to a life. I'm not saying that they have a right to, you know, this is a downtown area, but they do have a right to a life, okay? And so we need to stay well abreast of our customers. And when you're starting out a new business, you know, you certainly don't want to get, you know, out the starting gate and start to attract the wrong crowd. Once you do that, you might as well lock the door up because you can't stop it. It's like throwing a pebble in a pond. It just, you know, you let one person in that door get served with that's a minor, that passes you a false ID. Everybody at Lowell High School is going to know about it the following Monday morning. Everybody, and it's impossible to stop. So we you know, we like to make sure that you realize the gravity of, you know, the situation and what you're taking on, because you are making an investment and putting a business in the downtown area. And your customers are going to be going out in the streets in the downtown area, and we certainly want to make sure that, you know, the police aren't down there every 5 minutes trying to break up the crowd. You're going to have a restaurant besides. I mean, you're going to be serving food.
On the future, yes.
And what?
On the future, yes.
Yes. Okay. And kind of give me a ballpark idea of the hours and what you're going to do.
Right now, we're gonna still running as that was running before. I think that was running before 7 to 9, but open to the public, I think that was at 9. We're gonna keep running with the same, like there was building before, with the same like kind of group, but the different, we make it more like high class, more unique, more family. We're trying to give a different touch to this place. I know this is right down in downtown, so that's what we're trying to look for.
We never got a complaint about the other place. I don't know if they weren't busy or what. That's what I like to see.
We was a regular customer.
Yeah.
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 That's what we all like to see. That's why we say to Captain, do you know these people? If he says, we don't know you, that tells us that you must be doing a good job, okay?
Excuse me, can I jump in? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm Juanita Delbury, I'm the treasurer. We frequented this place for many years, it's already established.
Yeah.
We're just giving it a new feel, a new touch.
Okay.
And eventually it's gonna turn, you know, we're gonna do the cooking, but that's not something at the moment.
Okay,
that,
so now
you
it's
know,
just
we'll be able to do.
more alcohol at the beginning?
Right.
It's more an entertainment at the
Okay.
beginning.
Yeah. All right.
The business will be basically playing on what was existing there, that,
Okay.
as you said, there's
See,
been
I
no
don't really know
problems.
much about it.
Exactly. It
Attorney
was,
Vigiachaca, which is good.
Yeah.
You know?
it was more of a nightclub type of atmosphere.
Right.
Okay.
They will be moving, they want to move as they get further in to doing more food and restaurant
Okay.
activities
Now,
with it. But
it's condominium?
yeah, that
condominiumized?
building's condominiumized, yes.
Okay, how many condos are in, if you know?
4, I believe.
Yeah,
4.
4.
All business, commercial, or?
There's 2 commercial and 3,
And 2 units.
residential
2
upstairs.
units.
You gotta deal with that.
Yeah.
That's, you gotta deal with it. You're in a residential community, that's what I tell everybody. That's, if anything goes awry, that's gonna be a problem that you're gonna have to recognize at the beginning and be wary of it, okay? I understand that, you know, you have a right to have a business there, but you got neighbors, and they're not business neighbors that they're gonna leave at 5 o'clock at night. It's not an insurance company, it's not, you know what I'm saying? They're there at night, so just be wary of it, because it's an issue that's facing the downtown, and it's gonna continue to face the downtown.
Absolutely. On that note, we do have a condo meeting, a condo association meeting tonight to address those issues
Okay.
and speak, you know, to
Yep.
our tenants
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
because we
Good.
don't want to be, we want
Good.
to work
Yeah.
as a team
There you
and, you
go.
know,
Now,
be respectful
super.
to everyone surrounding.
Yeah.
Now, did you buy the existing building off the,
The condo itself.
off the prior owner?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so he hasn't renewed his license and...
No.
No.
What had happened is that going back a number of years ago, the building was purchased by Christopher Blackburn, who, and another business partner, had opened up the basement as a bar restaurant. I believe it was called the Last Safe and Deposit originally.
Yeah.
Blackburn decided to sell each floor as a separate unit and sold it as a condo.
Okay.
Waleska Perilla had purchased the basement condo unit. The prior licensee opted either to try to sell the business and whatever terms that arrangements couldn't be made. So the prior owner decided to just surrender the license and not to.
Okay. He knows the history of every bar in Lowell. I don't know how, but he knows the history of every bar in Lowell. All right?
Okay.
I think it's great. I think it's an investment for the city of Lowell. You're wary of your problems and your hurdles that you have to overcome. I think you're motivated. I think you want to do it. You got to, like I said, you got a money investment in it. You got to protect it. Remember, one of the most important things you have, and you really don't own it, we own it, is a license. So work hard to protect that, okay?
One other thing in there to you, okay? Just to make sure you're aware of, okay? We have an ordinance in the city that says any kind of altercation whatsoever, you call the police.
All right.
Now, you know, that doesn't mean you're gonna be here and we're gonna be yelling and screaming at you. But I'm gonna guarantee you, if you don't, we'll be yelling and screaming at you, okay? The police are your friend. That's what they're there for. And those are the type of things that, at the very beginning, if you have a problem and you nip it in the bud, you'd be amazed. People understand that you're not going to tolerate that. If you think for 1 minute, oh, you know, we can, you know, we're quiet, nobody will say anything. It's the worst thing that can happen. They're going to lull you to sleep because you're going to be here, and the clowns that caused the altercation, you know, are going to be out giving somebody else heartache. So, you know, remember that at all times, okay? I'm going to make a motion.
I remember, just one other quick thing. I remember when you said it was the last safe in the deposit, I don't know, 20 years ago, it was in it. They used to have a safe, literally had a safe in the building. Is that still in the building?
They're still there.
Is it really? Wow. You could never get it out.
No money, now it's liquor.
Yeah, all right. I'll make a motion to approve it.
Motion to approve, seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Attorney.
welcome. The safest thing in the cellar, huh?
It wasn't, yeah, I remember, that was like 20 years ago, it was a barn. It was a big, oh, it wasn't, yeah. It was they used to have tables in it. It was a big ass safe.
Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, okay, that little thing around the back, okay. All right. Yep. He owns the across the back. There's a set of condos coming up the side. Is this building in the front, or is it part of that run?
Application is for a restaurant.
Yeah.
They're looking for a function room.
Yeah.
It's owned by Haley. He's got a corporation that owns that property. They're dealing with him on the lease.
Okay.
Apparently they feel it's imperative if they can get approval because Haley's putting
Okay. Next on the agenda.
Commission will now open the public hearing on the application for an all-alcoholic beverage restaurant license by Sampaio Mayas, Inc., Sethe Peo, President, for premises at 450 Chelmsford Street, 2 unnumbered doors west side and 3 unnumbered doors south side of building. The first floor, 1 function hall and 11 rooms, approximately 10,968 square feet. The second floor, small offices, approximately 480 square feet. It is requested that Sethe Peo be approved as manager of record for Sampaio Mayas, Inc. application for the following minor licenses: common Vittler, entertainment for live music, disc jockey and jukebox, and automatic amusement device.
Okay. Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Mr. Chairman, Attorney Kevin Murphy. I represent the petitioner.
I'm sorry?
Speak up.
Okay.
And son.
And some, ma'am.
Okay. Tell us a little bit of...
Mr. Chairman, we have appeared before you previously. I don't know if you remember, but this married couple owned the Sunny Da restaurant on Chelmsford Street in Lowell. We received a license from your commission to operate a restaurant and a function hall at that premises. That's right near the consumer, the auto parts store on Chelmsford Street, across from the old Mary Lou's Donuts.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they have a existing restaurant and small function hall. Interestingly enough, we were before you on a disciplinary hearing previously on their first function. They had an issue there which we appeared before you, and it really was due to a little bit of inexperience, allowing them people to go outside of the function hall, and they were really consuming alcoholic beverages out in the parking lot. That happened probably about 5 years ago was the last time that we've appeared before you. And to my knowledge, they've operated a safe environment there, and have done quite well, and I don't think they've had any instances other than that first one. And they learned their lesson well from the first incident. Fortunately, their business has expanded, and one aspect of living in Lowell these days is that there still aren't enough venues for Southeast Asian functions in the city of Lowell. And my clients have found that there is a need for a larger facility than they operate right now to host weddings and other functions for the Southeast Asian culture. And as I've said to you before, it's difficult for some people to find a hall. It's hard for a Southeast Asian couple to have a wedding at a hotel, because the hotels don't normally serve Southeast Asian food, which they want to have. Or if they have to bring it in, it really isn't as good as if it's cooked on the premises or near the premises. In this case, my client leased their premises from Frontier Development. And right behind their restaurant, you might be familiar with it, is Frontier Development owns another building. The Registry of Motor Vehicles is housed in that building. There used to be, right now there's the Registry of Motor Vehicles. They've moved to a different spot in the building. There's an insurance company, and there used to be a church on the premises. And that's the part of the premises that we're looking to expand our business to a larger function hall. Now, when I say a function hall, it's a function hall only. It will not be a restaurant or a going business every day. And it's a good fit for my clients, because their existing restaurant is located right across from the parking lot of where they wish to operate their new business. So when they have a function, they don't have to have a lot of kitchen facilities in the new establishment, because they're going to be able to prepare the food where it is right now, bring it over to the new function hall, and there are smaller kitchens there if they need to keep it warm for a short period of time. Also, there are many individuals who want to bring in their own food to a particular function, and they would be allowed to do that in this new area. It's quite a big facility. And it's wide open. As you can see from the plans that I have submitted, is we really don't have to make any structural alterations to the premises, because what they did is the church had a worship area, which is depicted, and that would be where the function hall will be. What we really have to do is to make aesthetic improvements there and put tables and chairs and a dance floor in the wide open space. There are also meeting areas and Bible class areas where they're hoping that they can use that area for maybe a private, not in the wide open, but maybe a private dining area. And then on the second floor, there is a second floor. There's a small office space on the second floor. We just included that on the plan. They may use that for office purposes, but there won't be any functions run out of the second floor office space. It's only about 480 square feet, but it would be only for any bookkeeping or paperwork that they may decide to do from those premises. As you're probably aware, if you've ever visited that spot to renew your license or your registration, there is a very large parking lot that services that building. And it would certainly serve ample parking for any function that would be held at the premises, because as my clients tell me, most of the functions are held on the weekends. That's when you're going to have a wedding or a birthday party or whatnot. So the registry of motor vehicles will be closed, and I believe the insurance company would be closed during the weekends. So there is plenty of parking to service any function that would take place on the premises. As I say, my clients have been operating the Sunny Dar restaurant, which is right near here, for the last 4 to 5 years without incident, and I think it's a good fit. And I don't think it's going to have a negative impact on the neighborhood because, like I say, it's not going to be a restaurant. It's not going, if there's no function, it's not going to be open. So most of the weekdays, when there are some people visiting the premises to do their work, there won't be a function going on. So I think the parking is going to be very good.
The second floor, Council, is just this little corner?
Yeah.
That's all that's up there?
All
The
that's
rest
up.
of it's roof?
Yeah, is that, yeah, that's how it is.
Just
Yeah.
this little section that you've kind of double?
Yeah, it's just a little office area.
Okay, just an office with, looks like a couple of
Yeah.
seating rooms.
Yeah.
Okay. Captain Demore, do you know these people?
I know them from their prior business at the original place, but there's nothing, no records at all.
Okay.
No
All right,
cri-
we're going to
no
open
criminal
up the
record.
hearing. It's a public hearing, so we're going to start with anybody who wants to speak. Okay, come on up. If you could let him have the, what do you call it, the lectern. I want you to introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name's Neil Thompson.
Where do you live, Neil?
Hi, 30 Angle Street.
Where?
20 Angle Street.
20 Angle?
Yeah, where they are proposing this. Their bar room's gonna be for my deck.
No, go over to the mic.
All right, for my deck, it's gonna be, I measured it off 20 feet from my deck to their bar.
From your deck?
From my deck, from my back door.
You live in the condos along the way
Yeah.
there? Okay.
Hey, and there's already been problems over there.
I'm
There's been problems parking
has been
over there.
problems?
Parking over there. Who owns the registry, you know, he's not agreeable about parking. It's gonna make the parking problems. But it's 20 feet from my deck. Where they wanna inload, outload, and bring in their, whatever they have to bring in. Yes, this is gonna be a problem to me and my quality of life.
On that, is condominiums right at the other side of the parking lot, right?
It's, where the registry building is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got your license.
Yes.
There's a road there, not the condos next door. They want to put a bar there.
But they're not talking about putting a bar, they're talking about a function hall.
A function hall.
Well,
Okay.
do you have parking in that condo unit? Is there parking in the
Yes,
unit?
but it's 20 feet from there to that
I
building.
understand that, but, you know, I'm just wondering about, the condo doesn't share that parking.
Oh, no.
You have
Right,
your own
but
spot.
People parking there are gonna park it.
But when you got your condo, the parking, you have parking in your units, in your condominium.
Are there designated parking places for you to have your car?
Oh, yeah.
How many
all right,
parking?
let's get away from the parking.
Excuse me,
Well,
answer
I'm
the
asking
question.
questions.
We're trying
I gotta
to
know.
resolve. How many parking places does each unit have?
Yeah, but where are these people gonna?
How many parking places does each unit, how many parking places do you have?
All right, I'm out of line.
Do you have two? One?
So I'm gonna have these people in my backyard.
That's, okay.
I just
I
asked.
don't understand parking.
I'm just
I said
asking
20
questions.
feet away, you're gonna
Okay.
open a bar room
I
in my
understand, but that's a
backyard.
whole big parking lot there. I mean, it's like an L. Here's the registry and stores along this way, and you're on this side, and this whole area is wide open. They haven't
So
been-
20 feet away,
council-
20 feet from me is where I am.
I
to
understand
you.
that, but you know what? It's a big parking lot.
No, 20 feet from here to you. A function hall, would you put that in your backyard?
I wouldn't live in the middle of a parking lot, sir. And if they parked in my parking
So you're
place,
gonna allow it
and I
now?
owned a condo, I'd call the police and I'd have
So you're-
have the car towed. It's that
That's what I'm
simple.
just saying. I don't agree with it.
Well,
Well, it's zoned, he can have, the zoning, he fits the zoning, he can
Is
have
the-
that area, he can have that business in that building. It's zoned for that. We have nothing to do with the zoning.
Right.
Hey, you
Okay,
know,
we'll take it under consideration, thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Anything else you want to say? Okay. Anyone else want to speak in opposition? Come on up. Come right up, folks. Line up, and then we'll go right down the line, you know, that way we'll hear everyone and try to take things into consideration.
How you
Yes,
doing?
sir.
My name's Daniel Walsh, and I'm on the Board of Trustees at 30 Angle Street. There's 58 units in there.
Okay.
Yep.
And the problem is like Neil was saying, it's 20 feet from where he lives to where they're gonna have it. Now, they're gonna have live bands there and everything else. And it is gonna cause a problem. For one thing, it's in a school zone. It's thickly settled district. There's another set of condos right across the street. And when you're talking live bands, late night, coming out, noise, and everything else, I just don't think it's a good idea. And I'm speaking for a lot of people. What I would ask right now is that we table this, okay, for another, like 3 weeks down the road, so I can get petitions and talk to people in my complex to bring to you saying, yes, we want it, or no, we don't want it. And I'm gonna tell you, most people don't want it, because where we live, there's a small road.
Like an alleyway.
And people going up and down that road, I mean, they go, right now we have a problem with traffic there.
What's your name, sir?
Daniel Walsh. I'm on the Board of Trustees at 30 Angle Street.
Now, it's a simple question, I couldn't get the answer before. What's the parking situation in those condominium units?
You have one parking spot, you get one sticker for parking.
Okay, now
And the people that have garages, they can put the car in the garage.
so there's a garage and there's, on your property? You don't-
On our property, yeah.
So you don't use that parking lot?
No, I don't use that parking lot at all, but it does abut us by 20
I understand the
feet,
closeness,
you know?
but that's a situation that, you know, when you go to build these things and you have a business district, that's not our purview. That's a zoning issue, you know? That's not my purview. I'm just here to say, this guy's he's got a right to establish a business. He's got a right can he handle the service of alcohol? That's what I'm here for.
Right.
I'm not here to say that, you know, because you have a condominium complex so close to a commercial unit, that's been done. That's a zoning issue. That horse is out of the barn, you know?
Well,
I'm just here to address, can he keep the alcohol, service the alcohol, is he of the right character to serve alcohol and run a business that's gonna be?
And when you have live bands there, it's gonna cause problems. You're gonna have,
I don't know. I mean,
Well,
if there are problems, that's our jurisdiction.
Yeah.
That's our jurisdiction.
The thing here,
If there
Mr.
are
Well, what
problems,
I'm
that's
saying
our
is it's the loud music and everything else. I mean,
Well, you know,
the quality of life for these
He's
people.
zoned to have that.
No, wait a minute. You know, you're right, and it's just like the bars in the downtown area. And we have to make them understand that this is a neighborhood, and it has to be within reason. I want to, you know, it's required by law, okay, that these people paid to have a certified letter sent to everybody that was in a butter. I have here all the green cards, okay? Do you know how many, did you count by any chance, how many are here?
I would assume there's at least 50 units.
Okay, and they're all signed for. Okay, there's you. How many people belong to this area? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people have showed.
And you know why?
I'm not gonna-
And you know why? Because it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and everybody else is working.
Well,
So don't tell me that. I mean, you know, come on. I mean, you're out of order.
I
Okay,
am?
yes,
Excuse
you are.
me. But
You're
this
out of
meeting-
order when you're saying
Okay.
there's only a few
Okay,
of
I'll
us
tell
here.
you what.
Because,
I'll tell you what, sir, sit down, because you're out of order. Because if it was my condo and I lived there and it was that important, I'd be here. I would skip a day's work. Excuse me. This meeting's been held at 3 o'clock for the last
Really?
15 years that
If
I've
you
been
lived in
here,
that condo-
and you were notified.
if you lived
I
in that
would have taken
condo,
a day off
you
and
would
been
be here. Yeah, right.
Sit down.
you know,
Sit down. No, I'm not. The law requires that people be noticed. We want to listen to you. We want to take into consideration, excuse me, the next thing I'll ask you to be removed. We want to take into consideration, but you have to understand, you bought a condo and there was a parking lot in front of it. Didn't somebody say, what's the parking lot here for? Excuse me. The Registry of Motor Vehicles have people coming and going. There is sir, I'm not going to argue with you. I told you once, I'm going to say it for the last time. The next comment, I'm going to ask the policeman to remove you. It's that simple. I'm trying to take everything into consideration. Okay? These people also have a right. We all have rights. And we're trying to walk a line just as we walk in the downtown area. There are people that bought condos right next to bar rooms, and they spent huge money. They spent huge money, and we're trying to make them understand that there has to be a blending of business and residential. Okay, ma'am, would you like to say something?
My only problem with this whole thing is Sunny Da, when they have the functions, there are people outside, they take up 3/4 of that parking lot in the evening. And ordinarily, I wouldn't have a problem with it because it's that end, but right next door to our units, we only have one parking space. I park along Manufacturers Street because I don't have any place else to park. I can't get into, there's one parking space per unit. My garage I can't use right now, whatever. But my problem is if they have people at Sunny Da and people at this new place at the same time, we can't get through there as it is. There's going to be more traffic going down Manufacturers Street. They drive like lunatics down that street. Honest to God, they do. I'll be standing on my porch at 5 in the afternoon. Somebody will go by at 40 miles an hour down Manufacturers Street. Right. I have young children. I just, on a Friday or a Saturday night, right next door to my house, I want them to be able to sleep. I'm just concerned about the noise. I'm concerned about drunken incidents once people are leaving. That's my main issue with it.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, that's good. Okay, the people that lived there, what was the prior use of the property?
At one time, I believe, the registry, when I moved in 10 years ago, the registry was in that end of the building where the church is now. The registry moved to the other end, and then the church moved in.
Okay.
Because there was a restaurant on the other side, and there was somewhat of a Hang was there. And there was, at times, a police officer standing outside Hang to control things. You know, but Hang is like, even on the other side, they can go out towards Plain Street. I'm concerned my side, where they're going to be right next door to us, they're going to be coming down around the corners. You know, like I said, I have young children. There was never any alcoholic establishment that I'm aware of. I've been there 10 years.
The restaurant didn't have an alcohol license?
The restaurant did, but it was on the other side, so people were more likely to go out the other way.
Which is, the other way is, that's kind of where the main.
Right,
that's
exactly,
the main-
out towards Plain Street.
It's going out towards the connector and stuff. right,
Exactly, exactly. I'm concerned.
Where's that other, where's it go the other way? Where's that
It
bring
goes to Short Street into the Lincoln School, where my little boy goes to school.
Okay, all right.
And, I mean, they're small areas, people park along that side because we really don't have enough parking.
All right.
And coming around that corner, people come around the corner from manufacturers on an angle.
Did you ever try to petition the city to make the street one-way, going into the parking lot? If you took that
No.
street that you're talking of between the building, that little short piece of street that's going into the parking lot, making it one-way so that people coming in would have to go out Plain Street? Did anybody ever think of trying to sit down?
The townhouses across the street from us did. They tried to petition them to block off that end of Manufacturers Street, to block off from manufacturers down towards Angle. I believe they tried to have the board and the townhouses across Manufacturer Street from us. There's actually our 54 units, plus there's 15 across the street from us, across Manufacturer Street in the same area. And
But I'm sorry, just, who tried to have this?
the board of the other townhouses, the president of the board,
Okay, of the other
tried to have this end from Manufacturer Street blocked to that parking lot, so they would have to go out that way. Because they fly down that street.
Okay, but that would mean they were petitioning the city to shut down a street.
Right, so
take
they-
it off. But I'm saying,
To make it like a dead end.
but I'm saying, in your particular situation, has anybody ever thought of petitioning the city to make that street on the side one way in? Then people couldn't
I really
exit.
don't honestly think anybody in that area would pay attention to
Then
it.
people couldn't exit going down by your condos. They would have to go out to Plain Street, which would be between Mahoney's Oil and McDonald's, right?
Correct.
Is that street there?
Correct.
Okay.
But they could also cut out through Sunny Da too, but that,
Yeah,
I
but if
mean,
they did, that's still okay. I mean, you know, it's
Right.
a restaurant. There used to be, that Sunny Da's used to be a tile place, right?
right,
Wasn't
I
that
believe
a
it.
tile
I
linoleum?
believe so,
And it
yeah.
got, yes.
And then it was the
All
Lowell
right.
Bottling Can
Okay.
Center after that.
The problem you have here is that you have a huge parking lot. Granted that during the weekdays, I'm sure the registry uses it, okay?
Right.
And
the church uses it, but the church is very overcrowded. It's very difficult to get through
And I'm sure
there.
that if you check back in your condo, when they were built, when those condos were built, okay, they probably allowed 2 parking places, one in the garage and one in front of it.
Right.
That's usually the way it's done.
Right, but there's
a
only
lot of-
40 spaces inside in this 54
Okay.
units, and everybody in there has 2 cars.
2 cars.
Poor
So-
planning on their part, but,
Okay. It's just a thought, but it would eliminate the traffic that you're concerned from a public safety standpoint. And, you know, maybe if we tried to focus your anger and your being upset on something positive by saying, you know, we got 54 and we got the condos across the way, and if we made that street one way, you know what? We would probably, people are basically lazy. They're gonna park, you know, they're not gonna park way down your end even if the thing's there, they're gonna park where they can get out. So if you
no,
had
they'll
that
try and park
street-
right in front of it first.
Yeah, until it gets full, but if you had it one way going out, it might just do the trick for you, okay? It's just a thought, it's not mine, I'm just trying to say, when we have these hearings, you have to understand that, as Commissioner Gary said, our decision is not a zoning issue, it isn't. The property's already been zoned. You would have to go to the zoning board of appeals and say, I want to change the zoning here because I don't want all these cars. Unfortunately, you know, you have a condo that's in the middle of, not in the middle, but you know what I mean, right in a parking lot.
No, it
Okay?
actually abuts the parking lot.
I'm sorry?
It abuts the
Yeah,
parking
right
lot.
on it, though, right on it. And
My
so-
other concern is the noise level.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
they're noisy
Well,
across
okay,
the parking lot
okay.
at Sunny Da.
But you know what? The restaurant's been there, and they have, you're trying me, and the restaurant's been there, and the police obviously have not had a problem. They had a problem the very first time. We had a very severe talking with them, because I think they were overwhelmed by the success, okay? And they've obviously run a pretty good operation, because they haven't been before us, okay? So, my thought or idea there is, you know what? You got a condo association. You know, if the noise gets out of hand, I bet your telephone dials 911 too. I bet you can call the police department and have them come down and say, look, this is ludicrous. If you remember early this evening, when we first started the hearings, I said to the gentleman who appeared before us, who was representing the Portuguese, what's the name of the club?
Holy Ghost.
Holy Ghost. That's right in the middle of a neighborhood. That's right in the middle of a neighborhood, okay? They got neighbors all over them. If there's any noise, believe me, they're in here by the drones, and we listen. But for us to hypothetically say to somebody, you can't have that because you might make too much noise, or because the man has obviously a track record of being able to run a pretty good business. Why would he be going into a venture like this and making that type? If every time we try to do something, we have to take into consideration what's available there, okay? So, the only thing I can say to you there to try to make you understand is, we're here, and you know what? We're here every other Thursday at 3 o'clock. And I apologize if it wasn't convenient. But we're here at 3 o'clock, and we meet here, and people know it, and the notices are in the paper. And as I said earlier, these are all green cards. These are all return receipts sent back by folks that are in that association. And you know what? If I had owned a condo down there, I would probably be down here screaming also. I don't know. But I would hope that I would have the decency to conduct myself as a gentleman. So I'm trying to say to you, there are recourses to you if we decide to approve this. We haven't approved this. We're trying to take everything into consideration, okay? Is there anybody else that would like to speak in opposition? Come right up and identify yourself.
I'm Brian Chukas, 30 Angle Street. There was, right in the section of the building where the registry is occupying right now, was the
Yes.
Hang restaurant up until about maybe 5-6 years ago, something like that, maybe
Okay.
a little bit longer. And there were problems out in the parking lot every single weekend.
Really?
There were, it was mostly Cambodians, and that they were all out in the parking lots. They were drinking out in the parking lots. There were broken beer bottles the next morning. There were fights. The police department was down there on many, many occasions, breaking up fights in that parking lot, and
Okay.
and I don't want to see a reoccurrence of that.
Let me tell you
now
something.
It's
We
gonna
don't
be-
want to see a reoccurrence
Oh, yeah,
of it.
well, now it's going to be on this end of the building. I don't believe I could really hear what was going on down there besides the people out in the parking lot as far as music and stuff goes, but it was on the far end of the building where the registry is. Now it's going to be on our side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now you're talking about a bar, you're going to give them a liquor license. What kind of a bar? Is it a service bar? Is it a sit-down bar?
No, this is not a bar, as
Okay.
in a bar room.
Okay. So
Okay?
it's a service bar where
This
they're
is going to
served?
be a bar. This liquor license is only going to, as I understand it, if I'm wrong, Counselor, say so, please. As I understand it, they're going to get a wedding. They're
Yeah.
going to have somebody say, we want to have a wedding. They're going to have a wedding on
Okay.
Saturday. Open up the building, decorate it, they have the wedding, much like Holy Ghost Park and things like that. That's the only time. They're not going to have a bar open that people are going to be able to stop,
Exact- not
in the
off the
afternoon
street
for a couple of
business type of
beers.
thing.
No,
Okay.
it's not that kind of a. You're trying to use it as a illustration, sir. It's a one-day liquor license in a neighborhood, much like yours.
So
Okay?
it's so this is just solely a function hall type of thing?
Yeah, that's all it is.
And, I mean, it's not open to
gonna
the
be
public?
open
People
7
can't
days
go
a
in
week.
there?
If there's no function, if there's no wedding, if there's no
Mhm.
banquet, the place is closed. They've got a restaurant.
Yeah,
They're not
exactly.
even installing a kitchen, as I understand it, from the drawings. They're not putting it, they're gonna cook the food at their restaurant and bring it over. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, on that matter, I would defer to the Health Department on their requirements for licensed establishments and what's required, because it may be...
Oh, yeah, we're not licensed.
I know, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying that the fact on a restaurant, they need to have the means to prepare food on the premises.
Okay.
Even though it may be managed in a different way than what a typical tavern or
Well, they do have a
local
kitchen.
downtown
Yeah.
establishment might be.
They do have a kitchen in here, but I think that there was thinking it's more like, from what I understand, what council was saying, it's gonna be more like they're gonna be catering their own functions. In other words, they're not gonna put food in the building to leave it there. They're gonna cater their own functions as, so it's, as I say, it's not a bar where you're gonna stop in after work or.
Okay.
It's
No.
strictly, and it gets out of hand. That's what God created telephones for,
Exactly.
Okay?
Well, another issue is, what
And
are
we're here
the time
every
frames?
other Thursday at 3 o'clock.
I haven't heard anything
Love to
about
hear from
timeframes. What time do they have to close this down? I mean, if they have a wedding there, is there a certain time they have to close this business down at night?
Oh, the wedding can
Or they
only
can go
go
all
to 2.
night long?
Liquor license in the city of Lowell is only good to 2.
Okay.
So they'd have to stop serving by 1:30.
Well, when Hang Hang closed down, there were people peeling rubber all the way down the manufacturer's road right in front of our fences and stuff like that and waking people up in the middle of the night.
When they
and-
closed?
What, as soon as they closed down at night?
Yeah.
When the Hang Hang closed?
Oh, when the people got out?
All hell broke loose.
Okay, well,
You know?
You
There
know,
were
this-
cars, there were people yelling and screaming, there were
Right.
people walking down the streets, everybody in the place. There were lights popping on all
Yeah.
over the place.
this is a terrible risk they take.
And there was
If they can't run the place and control the people and control the noise
Then
and
there'll be
control the
complaints.
drinking,
Okay.
that's a risk they're taking. When
Okay.
when we start in business, when we open a business, we invest our money to try to make the business go. If it goes under, we're the ones that lose. If we can't control our business, it gets out of hand, we lose. And I don't think these people, I don't want to speak for them, but I would hope they're not making of an investment of this magnitude and not going to take the necessary steps to make sure they don't upset the neighbors. It would be kind of silly,
Yep.
but,
Now, I heard a previous people that were, I don't recall which one it was, but they said that they were going to a condo meeting to meet with the people that they were abutting to address any issues. Would
Yeah,
that
but
be a
that
problem?
establishment was part of the condo association.
Oh, okay,
You know what I'm
okay,
saying?
so
That was part
that's
of the-
why they had to do
Yeah,
that,
they got a
okay.
right to go to the meeting.
You know?
Right.
Because like I say, I mean, the pieces of paper that we got, I don't know if you got a copy of it, it's a mimeograph
yeah.
paper of
Yeah.
a little newspaper clip, and I had to
No,
go
no,
down and
yeah.
buy a magnifying glass to even make out what it is. Half the people might have thrown them out, that might be why they're not here.
They had a sign for it. Do you
I understand that. I
That's why we
understand
get
that.
all these cards back.
You know?
And I certainly wouldn't
But I
sign
mean,
for
just the
something I
method, I
wouldn't
mean,
read.
you know, you take a little newspaper clip and they
Yeah.
couldn't type that out, they know what it says. It seems a little bit shoddy to me that they're just trying to sneak something
No.
in, or,
No
you
one's
know what I
trying to
mean?
sneak anything. It's in
It was
the paper, it's
advertised in the
publicized.
newspaper.
Nobody's
Yeah,
sneaking
yeah.
anything.
Okay.
No.
No,
That was my
sneaking anything.
concern,
It's a
that
public
was my
hearing.
concern, it was a question.
You know, and
You know.
it's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I work too.
Yeah,
I
oh, know.
volunteer for this.
I know, I
You know what I'm
was working
saying?
when I came here. But I know right
understand
up
that.
the street, so it's not too bad,
Nobody's
you know?
speaking by anything. It's a public hearing.
But I
It was
mean, if it's
published in
a
the
function
paper.
hall, and if anybody has a problem with it, and there's noise and everything else,
It's a call.
they're gonna have a problem.
You
You
call the
know?
police, they're gonna know, they know they're gonna have a
You
problem.
know?
They're
So
sitting
they
right
have to be
there.
shut down by 2 o'clock in the morning
Oh, yeah.
for the liquor.
Yeah.
Oh, no. They close it
They gotta
too.
close it
They
too.
close it too,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you for coming. Did you get his name? Excuse me, sir, I'm sorry, the secretary. Okay, we just want to make sure we have your name before you leave. Okay? Is there anybody else to speak in opposition? In opposition, that portion of the hearing's closed. Anybody to speak in favor? In favor? In favor? Okay.
Counsel, just a couple of questions, if you would. What's the capacity on the building?
It's over 500
Yeah.
for the church, but we don't anticipate having that.
Okay.
Well,
What do you anticipate? What kind of?
I would say, what, 450? 450.
Are they mostly weddings or
Mostly
birthdays?
weddings.
Or?
And and I asked my client even before I came here, they normally end at midnight.
What's that?
Midnight is when
Midnight?
they end, the
Okay.
functions end.
All right.
Because and just, if I can just address two things. First of all,
Yeah.
if you look at the notices that were sent out, they were sent out with my letterhead.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, several individuals from the condo association called my law office and I responded to them. So
Yeah.
they have my telephone number
Right.
also. And my client is quite cognizant of these issues relative to noise and parking. And it's interesting, one of the issues that they talked about was having, people going out to the parking lot. That's what they've faced already. They know how to deal with that, and they will be dealing with that in the future.
No.
So I think they know these issues and will be working with the neighbors.
Yeah.
To
Well, it might be nice, in situations such as this, it's unfortunate that that things like this end up this way, Counselor, but it might be wise for your clients to set up some kinds of lines of communication, direct communication, something to the people of the association. Look, things go wrong, call this number, somebody will respond. Because too often, as you well know, and you've appeared before us on other cases, they call the restaurant, somebody answers, and the owners never get the message. And then the people are screaming at the owner. So to set up some kind of line of communication, go ahead, sit down, folks, to say, something going wrong in the parking lot or whatever, call. We'll do something about it.
I'll represent to you that I will have my clients schedule a meeting with the Board of Trustees of this condo
That would be good.
association to meet with them at the restaurant, at the Sunny Da restaurant, and to meet them and talk to them and give them information if there are any issues whatsoever.
Good.
What's the capacity of the Sunny Da?
289.
280? And are your functions usually full that amount? You're saying that it is full because that's where you're going to move, okay. So weddings usually get about 280, 300, or?
Yeah, depending, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I don't have anything further.
I don't.
I'll make a motion to approve the application.
Motion made, I'll second it. All in favor, say yes.
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 Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah. He's gonna be pissing. I need to take that shit from him, do it. Huh? I didn't think so. Yeah.
What do you need, a letter from Mark?
What do you want?
What do you want, Mark?
Next on the agenda.
Commission will now take up a matter that has been continued from meetings held January 25th and also from February 8th, the last scheduled meeting. This is the application by USA Auto Sales, Inc., Danielle Coriolano, president, for the secondhand motor vehicles license, Class 2 used car dealer for premises at 607 Middlesex Street, there being an open lot approximately 14,535 square feet with an office trailer 12 feet by 24 feet. Last year, 2006, Fernando P. Demota, doing business as USA Auto Center, license number 696-B, had been licensed there, and he's no longer a licensee, and the Registry of Motor Vehicles has duly canceled his dealer plates. Previously, the Zoning Board of Appeals had set a condition that there be not more than 27 vehicles for storage on the open lot.
Okay, introduce yourself for the record, please.
My name is Danielle Coriolano, president of USA Auto Sales, located at 607 Middlesex Street in Lowell, Mass.
Okay. I appreciate you getting these two letters.
Mhm.
Is Fernando here?
No, Johnny Medeiros, that's Mr.
Johnny
Medeiros.
Medeiros, excuse
Yes,
me.
he's right
John,
there, sir.
can you step up, please?
Help us out.
Help us out here. Tell us a little bit how this all came about.
I'm in the car business for about 12 years. I used to hold a license in Everett, Mass. I'm still holding a license in Somerville, Mass.
Yeah.
I know them for a long time. We became a partners probably at the end of 2003, and by December of last year, we just split. We're still good friends, and because we bought like a couple of months before this place, USA, and then they live right here in Lowell. So we decided was no reason for him to live in Lowell, keep running the place in Lowell, and I'm in Somerville, running the place in Somerville, and each one can have your own spot. So that's what is being happening since then. So I'm in Somerville, and they have the lot in Lowell.
Okay, so she bought you out?
I bought her out.
You bought her out?
Yeah. We split in December.
I'm sorry?
We split the partnership in December.
In December, you bought her out.
Yes. From Somerville.
From Somerville. She was in Somerville. You bought her out in Somerville. You used that money to buy Lowell.
Exactly.
First of all, when we became all the transaction in Lowell was in July 9. At that moment, we still
together.
So that's
in
when
July of 06, you guys were together going to buy Lowell.
Yeah,
Okay.
we start to buy the business in Lowell because as a car dealer, it's not easy for you to begin a dealer because I can sell you a deal, I can sell to you a car dealer and tell wonderful things, but how
All right,
I gonna know? I just gonna know when I'm inside. Mr. Medeiros was in Somerville and I came to Lowell to make sure the car was where we were seeing.
And this is in July.
That was in July.
Now, you give any money to him in July?
To who?
To the person that sold it?
To Fernando da Mora?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. How much did you give him?
The whole total that we gave to Fernando da Mora was we bought the dealer for $120,000.
All right. So, all right. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, in July, how much of that 120 did you give him?
How much we gave him as a down payment? 30, 20?
When we split the partnership, I gave them $38,000.
Then
they had more inventory that they could work with. So
When you say they had inventory, they had cars?
Yes.
When you split the partnership, she took so many cars?
She had some cars on her own. Yeah, they had.
You had a partnership and she owned some cars and you owned some cars?
Yeah, so we split some cars
Okay,
and then at the end.
Okay, who's this gentleman sitting here?
It's my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you get any of this money?
No, he just came in today, and he used to go to Somerville and like all the meetings, and I told him that the meetings in Lowell are kind of tough, and he never believed me, so he got surprised when he came here.
If you were smart, you would have got some of the money.
They all
All right, so let me finish. So she took her inventory, her cars,
and $38,000.
and $38,000.
Okay.
And you stayed in Everett?
Somerville.
In Somerville?
Yes.
And she came to Lowell?
Correct.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so you're up in
Who's that
Lowell.
comes?
So you got some cars, and then you gave him some more money.
Yes, Fernando was on a time that we got USA Auto Sales. He owed, I don't know how you guys know him by the city of Lowell, and I'm not him to talk about him, but I paid $8,000 to Service One Financial Service. Was a car that he just had a little problem in auction was a Volkswagen Passat, and when we have a car dealer, some of the cars that we have, they are not owned by us. I have floor plan companies, like the banks that lend me the money to pay for the cars. Mr. Damota, he owed $20,000 to Dealers Trust. Which one? The amount that he owed was transferred to us, and we paid that.
So that's another 20,000.
That was another 20,000.
Okay.
So I had to pay him.
Actually, the money was deducted from the 120.
From what?
Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
That's what we figured.
So
Okay.
I got you giving 38.
Then we gave him
And then 20. All right.
We gave him a payment of $2,000 also. If I'm not wrong, that was on July 14. I start on July 9 when it was a Sunday, so July 14, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
It was, because I told you about the Brazilian culture that I probably drove you guys crazy for this 3 weeks, I'm sorry.
All right, that's all right, so I got another 2,000, okay.
Yeah, on July 29, I gave him 5,000. On
Okay.
August 12, I gave him about 5,000.
Okay.
Then, when that 38 that Johnny gave to me,
Yeah.
I gave him 20,000. So
When did you give him the 20?
when we first when
The
we
38
began-
plus the 20?
Yeah,
So that's 58,000.
Yeah.
Then you gave him, then you got a 20 that he took over
then I
his
gave
debt.
you two. That goes up to 60
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it was a car
Yeah,
for 8.
yeah. Then there was a 20 you
Then
took
wait
over.
to 80
Yeah,
because of the 20.
Yeah.
Then 120. I made a payment of 20 and 4 payments of 5.
All right.
One was December, November, October, and September.
all right. Okay,
We finally got it.
all right.
We finally got
I
it.
need to make money.
You know your mistakes here that you made. I mean, you got to have a record of it.
I know.
And I don't
You
know
the
what
way
you're
you
doing
were
yourself.
explaining, you were telling us you gave him $120,000.
Yeah, but-
And I'm saying, there's such a thing as little mad money, but that's ridiculous.
I know. That's like a culture, and I have been learning a lot with American culture.
Yeah, you're learning along the
Yeah,
You
will learn
don't want to
probably a
learn
lot
from
with the
certain
Brazilian
agencies in
culture.
the country, though. I mean, I'm looking at the two Dealers Trust Corporation and Source One who have done business with you.
Yes.
You're an established person, and you're going to continue to do business with them because you are established and a trustworthy person. Though I don't have any paper trail that I like to have in this, because I think you made a pretty big mistake. I see that money was transferred. And I don't know, what other agency's gonna, when you go to sell the place, there's gonna be some issues in terms of tax issues that you gotta deal with them, So, I'm a little bit more comfortable today.
Okay.
Is
Yeah, at least you,
part of the mistake is not an excuse, but it's just when they got into that, and they already put some money, was no way to turn it back. Either way, he
Yeah,
was
I
going to
know.
lose the money or
Yeah.
or go ahead and do it. So
Yeah, you weren't dealing with Lee Iacocca either, this guy. This the guy you were dealing with. You weren't dealing with really an upright guy.
okay.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Okay, are you selling any cars at that location now?
Right now, if you walk to my lot, you're gonna see that I almost don't have any cars. Basically, I'm gonna be very honest with you because I think we have to be honest. I put everything I have in my life to that dealer.
Yeah.
If I don't get my license, I get lose because all I have is that dealer and my home that I have a huge mortgage to pay. All I have is
But you're
that.
not selling any cars right now?
Mr. Chairman,
No,
I know
I'm
this,
not.
I know this is not the purview of the licensing board, but a gentleman came to the License Commission office yesterday afternoon concerned about a vehicle that he had consigned to whomever operating the lot at this time, and was concerned about money that was owed him for that vehicle to be sold off the lot. And I explained to the individual
Is
he would
here?
have to go to the district court or to the court to find out what the best recourse is. In any event, I explained that there was nobody licensed at that location at this time.
Do you know anything about that?
Someone that, what I know is someone that had a car that if I'm not wrong, he was going to Brazil. Okay, that's something that I know. He asked to put the car in a lot. So, but that car was sold down in Somerville, and he decided to don't go to Brazil anymore. He decided to get his money, as everyone knows, and I'm not lying. I couldn't give the money right away because I don't have anything else to offer beside the car. I told him that I will be giving him a car. He chose one of my cars. That was a gold Honda that I have the title and it's ready to pick up the title. The only thing he needs to do is pay me the difference of $500, the one that I have the receipt that I paid Dealers Trust. But honest, that's the only issue that I know.
So the car was sold out of Somerville?
Yeah, but that
Okay.
was like 3 months ago. Quando que o carro do Robson foi vendido?
So but he didn't get his money?
No, he got a car.
He got a car?
Yes.
He
I can
wanted
prove
a
to
car,
you.
not his money?
Yeah, he wanted
Oh,
a
okay.
car because he wants to say, I can prove to you.
I'm gonna believe it.
Uh-huh.
Would you sell me a car?
Today? Just if you give me the license, can you? Please don't let me make money.
All right. We're gonna.
Give me a license. I'll sell you the car like an auction.
You know what? When you get done, you should write a book about this.
Can I?
How not to get your license. Okay.
She'll need a bond.
You need to post a bond with the city.
I'll get there.
You'll
it's
get
24 hours to get the bond.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
going to make a motion to approve the license.
Thank you.
I'm going to second it.
You brought most of this on yourself. You know that, okay? Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Limit.
You realize, excuse me, ma'am,
27.
27 cars on the lot.
That's it.
Okay.
When are you going to go there to visit me, all right?
All right.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, guys.
Take care. Thank you for coming in. Oh, my God.
She probably sells 1 million cars a year.
Would you buy a car from her, Captain? But I'd go to Somerville. I wouldn't buy it out of Lowell.
Commission will now open the hearing on the allegations of misconduct against the Doramar LLC, doing business as Rumba's Nightclub, Felix Pino manager, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 72, 74, 76 Merrimack Street.
No show?
Is he running late?
Counselor here to represent him? Was he notified?
Mr. Chairman, a letter of hearing was sent dated January 31st, 2007. It was sent by certified mail return receipt request and also by First Class United States Postal Service. The return receipt on the notice is dated February 2nd. At least it's signed for.
We have another letter from the gentleman. He obviously is not listening to what needs to be said. He's been informed. I make a motion, we roll his hours back to 11 o'clock.
Just for the...
For the record, he can appeal it to Boston, let him. He's bothering everybody in the condo association. He said the last time he was in here that this wasn't going to happen, that he was going to make sure that we have that, and I know that we're not supposed to take it into consideration, but we also have another complaint coming up on him of serving after 2 o'clock in the morning. But what bothers me more than anything is the letter from one of the condo owners who took the time and trouble to be here to talk to us that day. About this situation. It's totally unbearable living in there. I make a motion, we roll his hours back to 11, and we notify him to be at the next hearing.
What bothers me mostly is he didn't show up.
Yeah.
That's the fact. There's a notice that went out. He's received the notice. He's on the agenda. I mean, my attitude is let's revoke his license till he comes in.
Can we do that?
If I may, it's on for a hearing today. He is not, he's been noticed,
Yeah.
he's been given notice. You can go forward, you can have the hearing today.
I don't even need it. You know, this gentleman,
you do need a
Padula,
hearing. I would recommend having a hearing and making some facts.
This gentleman, Padula, he appeared before us before. Very nice guy.
But that's not, that other letter is not before you
I
today.
mean, I suppose the only part of the hearing we can have is we'll just read the complaint.
This isn't
over
a
the record.
complaint.
Right, but that's not before you as part of the hearing today.
Let's
What's before you, the letter is not. What's before you today is the letter that Mr. Ryan just referred to.
Okay.
I recommend that we read the
Dated
letter
January
into
6th.
read the letter into the
Okay.
to the record.
Read it in.
Forward.
Sorry. Would you read it in, Counselor, or Mr. Secretary?
You want me to read the
Well,
Mr.
Counsel,
Padula's
read it.
letter?
Read the one that's before.
Complaint for today.
Right. Complaint for today says that on January 13th, 2007, at approximately 2:16 in the morning, the Lowell Police observed several patrons inside Rumba's nightclub. After entering the premises, Officer John Flynn observed an individual seated at the opposite side of the bar with an alcoholic beverage in front of him. As the officer approached, the bartender removed the beverage and poured the same into the sink. Officer Flynn advised management that the premises were to be closed at 2 a.m. He further inquired about the presence of other patrons on the premises. He was informed that the members of the band were on the third floor. Officer Flynn proceeded to the third floor to investigate further. After arriving on the third floor, Officer Finn observed approximately 15 individuals seated near the stage area of the premises. None appeared to be removing any band equipment or assisting band members in securing their equipment for the evening. 2 individuals were consuming Heineken beer. Officer Finn located the owner of the establishment, Mr. Felix Pino, who was in an office located in the immediate vicinity of these individuals. Officer Finn advised Mr. Pino that this was the second time in less than 1 month that he observed this establishment allowing alcohol to be consumed after 2 a.m. The first incident took place on December 22nd, 2006 at approximately 2:20 a.m. On that date, Officer Finn observed approximately 30 persons on the third floor dancing and consuming alcohol. Officer Finn issued Mr. Pino a verbal warning at that time.
Thank you. Now, is there anybody here representing Roombas? Anyone representing Roombas? Anyone representing Roombas? Okay, now.
Okay, I just had a quick question. We had some prior disciplinary action against this establishment? Mr. Secretary?
Yeah, Commissioner Geary, there has been at least 4 notices of hearing and as many as 4 hearings on the matter of the establishment, Roombas Nightclub. A simple matter of underage promotion to the establishment where females under the age of 21 but not younger than 19 were welcome with no cover, and males who would at least be 21 years of age in addition pay a $5 cover. They were advised against that type of business practice, but there's also been after-hours activity in which patrons have remained, where police officers had to go in on several occasions on the different various complaints we've dealt with. The last matter before you called for earlier rollback of hours. This matter was by counsel for the licensee. Was reviewed by the Alcoholic Beverages Control Commission on appeal, and the matter had been remanded back to the local board, which in fact you gave the licensee a second hearing, and the decision to roll back the hours was modified, and so that they were allowed to continue to operate in the normal manner, but the board had given them a fair warning that did not come back.
In terms of our hearing here today, Mr. Secretary, we sent notice out to the patron, to the Roombas.
Yes, 2 notices, one, as I said, by certified mail return receipt request.
Did we get that receipt back?
They have the return receipt, and also that notice has also been sent by first class, just for the assumption that no one would be at the door to take the
Did you hear from anyone from the corporation concerning this matter?
No communication.
All right. Based on what I've heard, and I'm going to accept as factual the complaint that was read into the record, it's obvious to me that we've given this establishment a lot of leeway. We've given this establishment every opportunity that's been passed, disciplinary actions that we've taken, that they have not acted upon and have acted upon. Obviously, they don't serving alcohol after our hours of establishment concerns me. The fact of the matter that they've been noticed and have not arrived here today concerns me, and it just tells me one thing, that they don't want to abide by the rules and regulations of this commission, and based on that, I'm going to make a motion to revoke the license.
Second. Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Good job.
Okay. So possibly Lowell Police Department may be, and I'm not sure exactly when. I should have a letter ready for service tomorrow. But in any event,
if we could have the letter picked up and delivered, so that they're closed this weekend. They'll have the right of appeal, but that would be a process, right? They have the right to appeal.
Assuming they're,
Or go to court.
you don't, if you're not so inclined to give them a stay pending their appeal hearing, then they would have to go into court to get the temporary injunction so that they could have a hearing before the ABC on an appeal of this action.
I know if you call me, I'm not going to vote for a stay. I can't speak for anybody else, but I'm not going to.
I'll act upon it when I'm asked to act upon it.
Okay. So Captain Demore, can you have an officer take care of that if the letter's ready?
I'll come by in the morning. Yeah. Okay.
That would be good. Okay, next on the agenda.
Commission will now take up the matter of an allegation of misconduct as charged by Kenneth LaValle, the acting superintendent of police, against Hookslide Kelly LLC, doing business as Hookslide Kelly's, Michael J. Calorie manager, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 19 Merrimack Street.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Geary. My name is Attorney Michael Zane from the law offices of Stephen J. Mason. I'm representing the Calories. Michael Calorie to my furthest to the right, and his wife Mary Calorie directly next to me from Hookslide Kelly's Pub.
Okay. Do you want the complaint read into the record, or you waive the reading?
We'll waive the reading, sir.
We'll waive the reading. Okay. Tell us your version.
Well, our version is that there is no credible evidence in front of you presented to you in the reports from the Lowell Police Department that support the allegations of Hookslide Kelly's serving a minor. The only mention of Hookslide Kelly's in the course of the entire 22 pages of police reports comes on January 8th, 2007, 10 days after the incident. It's in a statement given by a gentleman by the name of Mr. Andrew Marinaro. Mr. Andrew Marinaro, at the time, was a temporary employee of the Middlesex County Sheriff's Department. In his statement to the Lowell Police Department, Mr. Marinaro readily admits that he conducted himself in a manner unbecoming an officer to begin with. Secondly, Mr. Marinaro says that he knowingly and willfully violated the law by going, or allegedly going, to establishments to drink alcohol. He claims to be in not only my client's premises, but he also, and you'll later see that in the reports, he disparaged another officer of the Middlesex County Sheriff's Department, which would be conduct unbecoming an officer by the Middlesex Sheriff's Department's rules and regulations. He is not a very credible person. He's a person of very poor integrity and very poor character. Throughout the course of the investigation by the Lowell Police Department into an assault that took place in an alley on Palmer Street, in the alley between Palmer Street and the Enterprise Bank, Mr. Andrew Marinaro starts off by saying one thing. He then changes his story saying another thing. He changes his story a third time. You'll see the series of reports that were produced in the course of their investigation, beginning with the original report by Officer Finn, the original patrolman to arrive upon the scene. Mr. Marinaro tells him one thing and one story as to where he was and where he was coming from. He does not say he was at Hookslide Kelly's. He does not say he was ever at Hookslide Kelly's in that statement. As Officer Finn continues to conduct his investigation and speaks with some of the other people who were victims of an assault that evening, none of them mention that they were in Hookslide Kelly's. As Officer Finn passes the investigation on to other detectives with the Lowell Police Department, specifically Detective Zanoli and Detective Kazionka, they go through a series of interviews with individuals involved in the assault that took place, victims as well as the assailants who were later charged with the assaults. None of them indicate that they were in Hookslide Kelly's. As Mr. Marinaro continues to change his stories 3 or 4 times during the course of their investigation, subsequently, when he's brought into the police department as part of a suspect in an investigation now of producing phony identification, he now makes up another story that he used his Middlesex County Sheriff's identification for purposes of gaining entry, not only to another establishment, but to Hookslide Kelly's. When speaking to the door person who was working at Hookslide Kelly's, a couple things come to light. First of all, he was immediately aware that a Middlesex County Sheriff's ID would not be acceptable form of identification for purposes of Chapter 138. Very well aware the Massachusetts driver's license, the Massachusetts liquor ID, and a passport are validly accepted under the rules, under the law. He says at no point in time has anyone ever produced a Middlesex County Sheriff's ID, not on this night and not on any other night. Additionally, Mr. Marinaro, who was a temporary employee of the Sheriff's Department, Lo and behold, his date of birth isn't even on that document. The document does not contain his date of birth. Middlesex County Sheriff's Department issues two separate IDs. One ID is to their temporary employees, another ID to their permanent employees. I have copies of both documents for temporaries and documents for permanent. The date of birth isn't on the temporary document, a temporary corrections officer's document. If I could approach the bench, I would like to show you those documents.
When you say temporary, what's that mean for a sheriff? What is that?
Sheriff's Department has two statuses of employees.
Yeah.
Someone who works either full-time, who's trained in the academy and is a full-time 40-hour permanent employee. There are temporary employees who start off, whether it be 8, 16, or 24 hours a week that they fill in, they cover during vacation periods of time, so that they're not fully, they're not trained through the academy that they're required to go.
Is that like a stepping stone for a permanent job, or is there a way to get in? Is that another way to get in? Okay.
It is a procedure. I know individuals that have started and they, when positions
Was
open.
this guy actually a temporary employee?
Mr. Marinaro was a temporary employee of the Sheriff's Department at the time of this incident.
Was the operative word?
Was is the operative word. He subsequently resigned. One moment, please, to show you those documents.
Okay. Any officers here?
No, the investigating officer just had surgery 2 days ago.
Okay.
If I may approach.
Emergency surgery also.
Is this one of the, do you agree with what the council's saying about, them asking him where there was no actual, I've always said that one of the worst things is, if you get caught drunk driving, they say, where'd you have your last drink?
Oh, absolutely.
You're not gonna tell them the bar that you're buddy with, you're gonna real quick think, unfortunately, I mean.
Chairman, my concern is, this is a grand jury investigation that's going into a grand jury. I am very reluctant to really talk too much about this case because of the severity. Two of the victims here were med-flighted to Boston with severe injuries, so I'm just concerned, some characteristic informations that came out against witnesses, so I rather request a continuance into maybe after the grand jury. I'm not sure if that's possible, or until after the case is disclosed of, but I'm just, we have witnesses. I'm concerned about some things that I just heard that can affect the running of the police department even. So I'm concerned about how information got out there, number one. How witnesses were just mentioned as part of the investigation that the attorney.
I mean, I'm just inclined to put it on. It's not really hooked up to the bar, I'm just continuing. I'm compliant just to put it on. Put the report on file, Just file it. I've never been in trouble before. Everybody's here today on it in terms of
Thanks.
my thinking, and I haven't heard anything about the other establishment. Maybe we should. I mean, I think they look like it's a similar complaint. Maybe we should open up that second one now to deal with them both at the same time. If council doesn't have any objection to that, if we could do that, and kind of deal with them at this point. And why don't we open up the second one?
Okay.
I
know this one here with the date of birth, that's guy that worked, that's a permanent.
Correct. You'll see the differences. A temp CO is one on and the other one is actually says, it actually is referred to as deputy sheriff in his title, striking as two different categories. The one with the deputy sheriff indicating the permanent employee, you'll see that his date of birth is contained on the document. The other one without the temporary corrections officer, his identification does not include, or his credentials do not include incidentally, if I may, and I had refrained from earlier from mentioning the other establishment being obviously the old court. However, one of the individuals who was employed by the old court during the course of the Lowell Police Department's investigation, a gentleman by the name of Daniel McGrath, he voluntarily cooperated with the Lowell Police Department, went down, and during their course of investigation, went down, spoke with him, gave an interview, and as part of the interview, he also testified that, contradictory to what Mr. Marinaro said. He said clearly that Mr. Marinaro did come into the establishment, he presented an identification, a valid driver's license, or some other sort of identification, not a Middlesex County Sheriff's ID. Again, their employee is familiar with Middlesex County Sheriff, but he's also an employee of the Middlesex County Sheriff's Department. So he knew that that wouldn't be an appropriate ID.
Okay.
Anything done subsequently to the complaint, counsel, that?
Yeah, absolutely. Once, and again, as Captain DeMora has indicated, this incident did generate some publicity with respect to what happened and what took place. And as word travels throughout the city, Mr. Calery and his wife said, okay, well, we don't believe they were here, but in any event, this is what we're going to do. They have now started a procedure where, and Mr. Marinaro in his statement claimed that he came to the back door of Hookslide Kelly's Pub to gain access. The only way you gain access is through the front door, where there's an employee stationed, along with generally a police detail, which they've hired since they've been in operation. They've also added a policy where not only do you need a Massachusetts or one of the acceptable forms of identification under the law, they also require a backup of some, or a second form of identification, generally maybe an ATM card, maybe a driver's license, a credit card of some sort. The philosophy behind that is, your brother may give you his driver's license for the night, but he's certainly not going to give you your ATM card. Okay, so they've done that, and it's actually worked. The word out on the street has gotten around that that's what you need when you go there. It's worked to their detriment, and as Mr. Calery's explained to me, that we've had situations where 6 or 7 people come to the door, and that 7th person doesn't have that second form of ID, and he's made the decision that it's not worth it to take that risk. And he's actually, unfortunately had to turn some people away. But he's playing with the safe versus sorry avenue of his business. Finally, a major investment that he's taken place is that he's purchased one of the scanning systems that scans the license. The license then will show up whether it's if, for instance, it was expired, it tells you it's expired. It also takes a photograph of it so that in the event later on, my clients still don't know to this day what this Mr. Marinaro, what he looks like or what he presented to when he went to the Lowell Police Department, whether or not he presented them with, here's my driver's license or whatever the case may be. When you read about the interview that Mr. McGrath gave to the detectives, Mr. McGrath is adamant, and he says to the police, he says, search them, and you'll find that they have identifications on them. Unfortunately, this wasn't conducted till 10 days later, and obviously any type of identification that they may have had, certainly he wouldn't be, I hope he wouldn't be silly enough to bring it with him to an interview at the police department. But there again, that's where we stand. There is no evidence.
I think Commissioner Gary's got a good idea. If you just kind of step aside and
let's open up the other one.
Let's open up the other one if it's okay, and
I have no objection.
Because as I've said, that's always been a problem with me when we receive these complaints that someone was stopped driving. And they ask them, where did you drink last? And of course, you say to people, naturally you're not going to say, a place that you might know the people or a place where all your friends are, because, God, you don't want to be barred from there. So some poor slob down the street gets blamed for it. So I've never put a lot of value in that type of thing. Counselor, what's his name? You've been here before. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, if I just may, just to introduce the subject, the matter is of a complaint from Kenneth LaValle, the acting superintendent of police, against Camden Inc., doing business as the Old Court. Jerry Murphy is the manager of record, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 29-31 Central Street.
Okay.
George Ciolides, Jr., 133 Market Street, Lowell. And I'm here this afternoon with Finn Barr and Jerry, who will introduce themselves for the record, please.
Finn Barr, owner of the Old Court. Jared Murphy, the Old Court.
Gonna waive the reading, counsel?
I will.
Thank you.
I will. I just want to say, first of all, and I think Commissioner Geary saw me stand up when the captain talked about continuing this matter, which I am absolutely, totally opposed to, and I'll tell you why. These gentlemen have been in business in the city for more than 6 years, and in that period of time, I stopped to figure it out, 7 days a week, or 365 days a year, they've been open consecutively for over 2,200 days, and they have never once, ever had a complaint lodged against them as an operation. They run one of the finest operations in this city. And I know you all know the old court has the highest reputation. I'm not saying Captain DeMora disagrees with that, and I understand what he's saying about the proceedings that are going on here at the same time. At the same time, I'm also very much in line with what Attorney Zame has already presented to you about this very shaky, at best, testimony, supposedly, and what the chairman himself has said about how people always seem to come up with names about this. I was struck about places where they supposedly drank. I think we're faced here with, obviously, the events of that evening were very, very serious, and a lot of serious things happen, a lot of bad problems. From my client's standpoint, they've been painted with a broad brush of being involved in this thing. The mere fact that, I mean, I don't know how many times in all these reports and all of this stuff you read about the old court, and yet there's not one iota of evidence, aside from this guy's statement, which, as Attorney Zame has already pointed out, has been changed on numerous occasions throughout the investigation, not one iota of evidence that they were in fact in my client's place. Furthermore, the Dan that Attorney Zame referred to was our bouncer, our doorman, who works for the Middlesex Deputy Sheriff's Department, and who said in a million years he would never take as an ID for anybody coming in the door, a sheriff's identification for something like that. I'd also like to point out, and I think Jerry has, who's got the package? I think this is among the best evidence, if I may.
You brought us sandwiches?
I brought sandwiches. That
represents,
I don't know how many hundreds.
False IDs.
How many? 132 and 310. Licenses that my clients have grabbed from people, fake, phony licenses in the time that they've been operating the place. That's how well they check, that's how well they know what's going on there. They would never, ever let this kind of an event take place that way. However, notwithstanding all of that, first of all, we have no evidence, we have not even an iota of evidence that they supposedly, there was somebody underage, one or more persons underage supposedly in consuming alcohol there. My answer is very simple. All of a sudden, we get blamed, we get called before you, and then, and again, I understand the position Captain DeMora is in, but now all of a sudden it's, hey, let's wait and see. My answer is, wait and see, forget it. There's no evidence that's there that says that they were even close to our place. If later on, I'm sure, in some legal proceeding, it were proven to a court of law or something like that, that those folks were in there and my people supposedly served them, you and I would be the first to be here to listen to that kind of evidence. So
What's the procedure in terms of IDing people coming into the establishment?
Maybe, Finbar, you want to tell?
Sure. You might have to translate.
Yeah, no worries. Basically what happens is, you know, somebody comes up to the front door, they're asked for a form of ID. The doorman, the head guy who was Dan McGrath, the gentleman in question.
Yeah, I know him.
We'll ask him for an ID. If there's any question whatsoever in terms of the validity or the likeness to the person, he will ask for a second form of ID.
Okay.
If it's not the person and it's obvious that it's not the person, then he just confiscates it right away. Or if there's something, if it has been altered, it's confiscated.
Now, like,
Boy, some
of these are like, when you take them, because it's not the person or because they're altered?
All different reasons. Either they were altered a bit, it's not the same person.
Because I couldn't tell if this was altered or not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you have one of those
Yeah.
machines?
Okay.
Do you
We
have one of
don't-
those machines they were talking about?
We don't have the machine, but just to give you an example, was somebody that tried to get in a couple of weeks ago. It's probably one of the top IDs. She showed up at the door. The likeness is unbelievable. I mean, it looks just like her.
Yeah.
The height is the exact same. Everything is the exact same. The only thing was she came from work and she had a badge stating her name. Hi, my name is whatever, and it was a different name. So it was her sister's ID. So I mean that's what I mean that's what you're dealing with.
Did
so.
she have an S on her forehead?
Yeah, no, I think it was an L. But that's just an example. So we confiscated the ID, and then her sister, who actually owned the ID,
Yeah.
who was 2 years older, called up and pretended she left it there the night before, and so we just.
You like that brogue, Mary? Pretty good,
How,
huh?
how long has this collection taken?
That's
September '05 you started doing it?
It was before just to turn them away.
Yeah.
There was a detail working in the door.
Yeah.
And it says,
Grab 'em.
"You're better off taking them."
All right.
And we realized it was legal to do so.
Okay. That reminds me of the story. There was a gentleman years ago, he used to be Marvin Barnes, was a basketball player, played for Providence College, great basketball player, had a little troubled history, shows up down in Providence, Rhode Island, ripping off Cumberland Farms. The only problem, he went with his Providence College basketball T-shirt on. And he's a 6'5" guy.
So that's my concern,
Yeah,
gentlemen.
I can understand. Captain Demore, I mean, how many times have you been to these places?
No, both are, they do a great job. And, since then, let me just reiterate that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the assaults really had anything to do with what happened here. These were bad kids that met some good kids going home.
Yeah.
Way away from both locations.
Yeah.
As part of our investigation, as you well know, the superintendent's zero tolerance on liquor establishments. When we hear that's all this was, but in no way am I saying that these establishments had anything to do with the assault.
Okay, right. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I know that the police department has a zero tolerance. That's the establishment of the board too. I think these establishments kind of have that.
I agree.
That thing as well. So my recommendation on it is they're aware of it. I'm very impressed with what you have here. I'm amazed by it, actually, And I'm just saying, I just put the complaints on file, not take any action on them. Understand that it's getting tougher. It's just getting tougher to run a bar. You guys probably know it. You're going to realize it, It's just every year it doesn't get easier. I've seen it, it's a tough business, and you got to be a tough business owner. And I think we have two in front of us now, and that's my recommendation. Just put the letters on file, don't take any action on them, and I think, stick with your established policies and you shouldn't have any problems. I'm making a form of motion.
The only problem there with the letter work against them, so was to have.
No, my thing is just, we're just put it on file, with no action taken on the thing, so I'm not gonna hold it against them.
Well, then why not just dismiss the letter?
No, I think it's important to show that, there's an established policy here that the police are gonna, it's gonna be a little tougher. We're expecting more out of the club owners. I think it's important to show that. I'm not gonna hold this complaint against you. I just wanna file it and not take any action on it.
No, I appreciate that, Commissioner.
I got to ask the question, okay? Which one of you said that they asked the police to search?
Actually,
But they didn't do it till 10 days later.
Well, he didn't get interviewed 10 days later, probably. He'd probably get interviewed at 10 days later.
When they come down, they get somebody like that. I mean, not being a wise guy. They're taking all these, boy, some of these look.
Benjamin.
That looks like my sister. Benjamin.
I would only ask, Commissioner Geary, I understand what you're saying, and I appreciate it. I would only ask there be some notation that indicates that no credible evidence was presented.
I'm going to find there was no evidence against both establishments on the fact that I just want to put the letter on file to understand that, hey, this is a situation that's going to be happening.
I'm now going to say something really radical, okay? When they have a situation like this, why doesn't the police take that individual back to the police station and search him?
I think you misunderstand what happened here.
Okay.
This was an investigation, a long-term investigation. By the time we looked into even this remote thing that they were in a licensed establishment in Lowell, it was maybe 5 to 10 days later.
Oh, okay, so they didn't
This
get him
didn't
like
happen
right
that
there.
night.
This
No.
gentleman too, this Maldonado,
They-
he's
Both of them
he's-
went down to Beth Israel Hospital by
Okay.
helicopter.
This,
They wanted to be
he's
searching
he's a
them.
victim in this, right?
Yeah.
He got beat up, he got hurt pretty good.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, because to me, I have always said it, let's just by way of an example, so this is a young lady on the top of it, let's say she showed up at the door with a false ID, or you go in and you find someone in a bar with a false ID, especially a girl, you took her back to the police station right there, and the doorman says, I know she gave me an ID and it's on her, and they took her back to the station and searched her. Every kid at Lowell High would know the next morning, holy smoke, and it would stop. It would stop.
And I think this was a very unique situation where literally the persons involved had to go receive medical treatment.
Right.
Where, again, as Captain said, this was a collateral issue, so to speak, that came up
And it's
during the
upsetting
course
that
of the
that many
investigation.
investigators got involved before they stopped popping names.
Well, no, but you have to do the investigation. It came up during the course of the investigation, but at that point, you're several days after the fact, and it's tough to get certain evidence, and all the police department did was bring it forward to your attention based on what they learned as part of a criminal investigation. This one tangential part involving both places became, they learned this information and forwarded it to your attention.
Okay. I'll second Commissioner Gary's with the notation that no credible evidence was found. Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say
Yes.
yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Here's another road scholar, she gave you an under 21 driver's license.
Roads. What is the police department's?
Statutorily, they have to be returned if their licenses.
You have to give them back to the people?
No one has a legal right to hold those except the registry of motor vehicle.
Whoa.
Just so you know.
Send them to the registry of motor vehicles.
Anytime you get a license,
Hey.
by statute, you have to
Take
send
it,
it to the
just
registry of motor
put them in a box and mail them anonymously to the registry. They can run around and deliver them back to the people. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Good luck. Hey, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good job. Jerry.
We're going to call him Reverend.
Mr. Chairman, just as a quick summary of what remains on for our agenda, Kenneth Lavalley, the acting superintendent of police, has filed a letter dated February 12, 2007, on allegations of misconduct against the Camaro Restaurant, Inc., Fifth Noon, manager of record, the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 308-3010 Westford Street. This matter needs to be set, a hearing needs to be set on the matter. I don't know if Captain Demore may have some comment before you're setting a date as to officers that may be available to appear.
On this one on Westford Street in that's the one in Couple Square?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to, I was just talking to council about that. That's a monthly one. We get an officer that sustained some serious injuries, so we're discussing that now. I would think probably a good 3 weeks away, or, next month, the end of next month, maybe.
We have meetings, our next regular meeting is scheduled for March 8th, but the following meeting after that is March the 22nd.
22nd, Captain Demore, is that okay? You want us to push it to
Or-
April 12th?
April 12th?
April 12th. So noted. If you'd send them a letter, Mr. Secretary.
Yeah, April 12th.
April 12th.
Also, Mr. Chairman, one last item on the agenda. There is an application that's been filed on behalf of the Courtyard Management Corporation, doing business as Courtyard by Marriott, the all-alcoholic beverage hotel licensee at 30 Industrial Avenue East. They're requesting permission for alteration of premises. This would require a legal notice to be published, scheduled for publication tomorrow, February 23rd, in the local newspaper, and the butters to be notified. What they're aiming to do is, in the existing lobby area, they want to create a room for their house guests to go in and purchase their bottled beverages for consumption on the premises. They would create a little market, a pantry market. The manner of surveillance and making sure that those that are actually purchasing are actually registered to as guests in the hotel. So this is a matter for hearing for March the 8th. Okay, and council will be...
Is that like when you go, what are you talking about? Like, is that like when you go to a hotel and they've got a refrigerator with nips and all that type of idea?
I believe that's the intent, is
Okay.
to allow the house guests to go in. If they see a bottle of wine that they would like to have with their, whatever food they may have, they take to their room, they may do so. The premises as a whole is licensed.
Okay.
I spoke to the council out of the Edgartown, I believe the council is coming from, and they explain it as a concept that the Marriott has introduced in other establishments, other businesses under the Marriott name. This has been addressed by the Alcoholic Beverages Control Commission. Their application includes a copy of the letter from the Alcohol Beverages Control Commission on this particular type of business transaction. So it's not prohibited, but certain requirements are to be maintained.
Okay. That's it. Anything you'd like to bring up, Captain Moore?
Nope.
Counselor? Anything coming up? Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
saw
Coming
one of
home,
those.
Benjamin.
I saw
Oh,
one of those.
you know what
names.
I'd like to see you do?
Benjamin Bayless, I saw on one of those cards.
I'd like to send Eddie his name, send Eddie's family his